Chapter 21. You find out how by doing. This is another one of my unique unfair advantages. I have thousands of videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. While they might not have huge view counts, each one represents an incremental step on my path to success. In life, there is a pervasive myth that we must first understand everything, become experts, gather all the information, or perfect a skill before we can start. This myth tells us that we must have a clear roadmap before we take a single step. While this approach can sometimes work, more often than not, it leaves us stuck in a perpetual state of preparation, never truly engaging with the world, and never truly progressing. The truth is simple. You find out how by doing. Many people feel paralyzed by the fear of not being ready. They believe that they need to master a new skill, understand every nuance, or solve every problem before taking action. But in reality, the perfection we seek is elusive. It's a constantly moving target that becomes less relevant the more we focus on it. This desire for perfection can actually inhibit our growth. Perfection is a distant goal, often unattainable and ever-changing. The pressure to reach it before taking action can freeze us in place, causing us to overthink, procrastinate, or abandon our dreams altogether. The truth is that mastery doesn't come from waiting for the right moment or accumulating more information. It comes from practice, trial, and error, learning through action. Life is an experiment. While knowledge is important, life experience offers wisdom no textbook can provide. The most powerful way to learn anything is by diving in. When you take the first step and begin doing, you start to gather real-world knowledge. This isn't knowledge from a book, an online course, or a lecture. It's the kind of knowledge that can only come from experience. Think about learning to ride a bike. If you were to sit in a classroom and listen to endless instructions on balance, pedaling, steering, and braking, you'd never truly understand how it feels to ride. But once you hop on the bike and start pedaling, you learn by doing. You fall, you adjust, and slowly, your body starts to understand how to balance, how to move, and how to stay upright. The best way to learn how to ride a bike is not by reading about it or watching someone else. It's by getting on the bike yourself and experiencing it firsthand. This principle applies to every area of life, whether you're trying to start a business, learn a language, or develop a new hobby. You can only understand the how of anything by engaging with it. You find the path forward by taking action, testing, and refining, embracing mistakes as teachers. One of the greatest obstacles people face in the process of learning is the fear of making mistakes. But mistakes are not failures, they are lessons in disguise. Every misstep teaches you something valuable, something that can only be learned by doing. Failure is not the end, it's just another step on the road to mastery. When you make a mistake, you get instant feedback. You learn what doesn't work, and that's often just as valuable as learning what does. A successful scientist doesn't just experiment until they find the right answer. They conduct countless experiments, each one revealing what doesn't work and guiding them closer to the right conclusion. The same applies in life. By experimenting, adjusting, and trying again, you get closer to the how. The key is not to avoid mistakes, but to embrace them. Every failure is an opportunity to refine your approach and grow stronger. As Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His persistence in the face of repeated failure led to one of the most groundbreaking inventions of all time, the light bulb. The power of hands-on learning. It's easy to assume that learning comes from theory, observation, or absorbing content. While these things can certainly help, hands-on experience accelerates learning in ways nothing else can. Imagine trying to learn how to cook by reading recipes, but never actually cooking. You might understand the ingredients and steps, but you won't know how the flavors come together, how the timing works, or how to make adjustments based on the stove's temperature or the texture of the ingredients. You only gain this knowledge by doing, by experimenting in the kitchen. The same is true with any skill or goal. It's one thing to read about how to build a website. It's another thing entirely to actually design and create one. The feeling of problem solving in real time, of figuring out how to fix a broken link, or how to make a feature work the way you envision it, is where true learning happens. You discover how through hands-on practice. Shifting from perfection to progress. To make progress in any area of your life, the key is shifting your mindset from perfection to progress. This means focusing on incremental improvements rather than expecting instant mastery. Each small step you take is an opportunity to learn more and refine your skills. When you focus on doing, you unlock the potential for constant growth. Progress comes not from waiting until you're ready, but from getting started and adjusting as you go. Whether you're writing a book, learning a new language, or starting a business, the real growth happens when you embrace the process of doing. You find out the how, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by rolling up your sleeves, making mistakes, and figuring things out as you move forward. The power of consistency. Another crucial element of learning through doing is consistency. Even if you don't feel ready or perfect at first, committing to regular action ensures that you continue to improve. Consistency doesn't mean doing everything perfectly each time. It means showing up, putting in the work, and learning from every experience, whether it's a success or a failure. Sometimes all a business needs is time. It's much like the athlete who trains every day, even when they don't feel like it, or the writer who writes a few pages every morning, even on days when the words don't come easily. Over time, the cumulative effect of consistent effort leads to mastery. You find out how to get better, how to improve, how to adapt, and how to succeed simply by showing up. The freedom in doing. When we break free from the idea of needing to know everything before we start, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility. The act of doing gives us the freedom to explore, to experiment, and to make mistakes without the pressure of being perfect. It encourages creativity, problem solving, and innovation. We begin to learn in ways that are dynamic and exciting, rather than passive and theoretical. Rather than waiting for everything to align perfectly, we begin to learn by doing, by jumping in, figuring things out, and refining our approach as we go. This is where the magic happens. The lessons we learn through doing become the foundation for greater success, and the process itself becomes as rewarding as the outcome. The secret to learning anything, achieving your goals, and discovering how things truly work is simple. You find out how by doing. No amount of preparation, research, or theory will teach you what you can only learn through action. It's not the knowledge you acquire from reading or listening, it's the wisdom that comes from experience. By embracing the process of doing, making mistakes, and refining your approach, you unlock your true potential and pave the way for success. So the next time you feel unsure, remember, the best way to learn is to take that first step, dive in, and trust that you'll figure out the how along the way. If you are nervous to be seen or heard, come practice in a safe environment. Come on over to Work Smarter, not harder. Our free community group on Facebook.